Hey guys, it's Travis. I recently decided to start this channel, just separate from my other channel, because I decided I'm going to start stretching my ears. Um, I got them pierced Friday. I wish I would have thought about this before then. Otherwise, I would have filmed it for you and we would have started from there. But it's only been 3 days since I got them done. I got them done at an 8 gauge. And I've been at work all day, and since they're a new piercing, you've got to take a little bit more care of them than a normal stretching. So I just wanted to show y'all that, and then in about 2 months I'll actually start stretching. Well, probably longer than that, probably 3 or 4 months. I'll probably start stretching then. That way my ears are good and healed before I actually start putting more stress on them. So I just wanted to make a quick video, show y'all how I clean my ears. Since I've been at work all day, they've got a lot of blood crusted on them underneath. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to soak them in a saltwater solution, a saline solution. Just 1 cup of water and a 1/4 teaspoon, not a tablespoon, a teaspoon of salt. Sea salt, fine grain, mixed in there, good, as warm as you can stand it, to help soak up the blood, to help break it down. And then after that, I've got this Provon antimicrobial lotion soap that the piercer gave me to clean it with once a day. So while I'm at work, I don't ever get a chance to clean them. So that's why I'm doing this double duty. On the weekends, I don't have an issue with them. I'll saline them in the morning and clean these and clean it with the soap in the afternoon, and then I'm good. But since I'm at work, I never know when my days are or where I'm going to be. I don't really get a chance to do it. So I'm going to go ahead and start. I've already got a cup of warm water. Actually, it's cooled down. So I'm going to dump it out. Make sure that everything you're using is clean when you do this. So I'm going to dump this out, rinse it out, and start over with some more warm water. And then I'll add the salt to it, and I'll show you all how to do it. I soak mine for about 3 to 5 minutes. So what I'll do is I'll start the first ear, and then I'll cut the video because there's no sense in you watching me have water on my ear for the next 10 minutes. And then I'll come back and I'll show you how to clean under them and clean around them, and then clean with the soap. So let me dump this out and we'll get started. The water in this house takes forever to heat up. Okay, now we got some warm water. My piercer gave me this bag of sea salt. Like I said, it's just sea salt, fine grain. You want the fine grain so that it dissolves a lot easier, and you don't want big crystals because those crystals can get in there and actually they're sharp, so they could actually hurt if it's a new piercing. Even if it's a stretched piercing, it could still get in there and be really uncomfortable. But you want to stick to that recipe I mentioned earlier. 1/4 teaspoon to 1 cup, because that's very close to your body's natural saline levels. If you get it stronger than that, it can actually do more harm than good. And if you get it weaker than that, it's not going to do a whole lot. But once I get it mixed in there, I take the cup and I press it up against my ear, make a good seal, and then slowly make sure it's not too hot. And once you get it soaked or submerged, just let it soak for a few minutes. Like I said, I normally do 3 to 5 minutes. So since I've been at work all day and there's quite a bit of blood under there, especially in the back, I'm probably going to go ahead and do 5 minutes. So I'll set like this. Once it gets too tiring, I'll probably do that just to get all the air bubbles out of my ear. But yeah, I'll go ahead and cut the video, and once I'm done soaking it, and apparently my shirt, we'll come back. Okay, we're back. So as you can tell, sometimes it's a little messy. If you don't get a good seal on your head with the cup, you get water everywhere. My beard doesn't really let me get a good seal, so wear a shirt that you don't mind getting wet. But we got both ears soaked. Now what I'm going to do is I've got another, each time you clean one ear, use a fresh saline solution. That way you don't get gunk from one ear going into the other ear. Because sometimes if you're really bad like mine were, when you pull it down you can actually see the gunk floating in there that came off. So get a fresh one every time, and I don't know if I mentioned it earlier, but every time before you touch your ears, make sure you clean your hands. Anything you're going to touch your ears with, make sure you clean and sterilize those. But what we're going to do now is I've got a third saline solution that I'm just going to use Q-tips and clean around there. But since I touched the camera and the cup, I'm going to go ahead and wash my hands again real quick. Be good. Since I'm going to be messing with water, I'm not going to worry about towel drying them. But if you were putting an O-ring or something on, or trying to put your taper through to stretch them, we'll get to that later on in a few months. But you'll want your hands dry so that you don't drop them, and then you have to start all over sterilizing them. But clean Q-tip, you're just going to dip it in your warm saline solution. And then for mine, I'm going to push my plug forward and get under there as best as I can. I always have a hard time doing the back, especially with these being fresh. They're really tender, and you can see a little bit of bruising on this one, but on the other one it's bruised a little bit more. That one's kind of gunky, so I'm going to go ahead and swap to the other clean side and do another pass on the front. So I don't know if you can tell on there, but it did take some gunk off. But now we'll get one and do the back. And make sure you have an open trash can. If not, just set them on the counter. Next one, I don't know how well I'm going to be able to get the back on here, but I'm going to try. Same thing, just try to get under there as best you can. With the O-ring, it's kind of hard. Yeah, and that's got some nasty stuff under it. So you may have to take 2 or 3 passes depending on how clean your ears are. But that's why I soaked mine ahead of time. I knew that mine weren't very clean and that some of that probably dried on there. So it makes it a little easier getting it off. So there's not very much on that one, so I'm going to call it good. I'll have my wife check it when I come back. She can see the back of my ears better than I can. Next we'll just do the other ear. But so that I can cut this video a little bit shorter, I'm going to go ahead and soap up and rinse this ear, and then I'll do the other one after I cut the video. So the way the piercer told me to use this is like a grain of rice drop in your clean hands, and then you'll lather it on your fingertips and rub around the piercing. And once you're done, then you'll wash it off with warm to hot water, just to clear everything off. And after you do it with saline, you also want to rinse that off, because if those salt crystals dry on there, just like earlier, if you get large grain salt, it can get in there and actually hurt. So you just put a small dab. I don't know if you can see that or not. There we go. Small dab. And you rub it on your fingertips and just go around the piercing really well. And since your ears are wet, it'll lather them up. This helps kill all the bacteria. Well, probably not all of it, but it helps keep them as clean as you can get them. She only told me to do this once a day, and she actually told me the saline solution was optional. But with my work, I don't really, I'm crawling through attics and stuff all day, so I do it daily, and sometimes if it's real bad, twice a day. But I got it rubbed in there. So now I'm going to go ahead and get this water warming up. You don't want to use the saline that you already have for your Q-tips. And you don't want to use saline to rinse it at all. You just want nice warm water to rinse that soap off. But since it takes forever for hot water in this house, I'm going to go ahead and start Q-tipping my other ear. I don't know how well you're going to be able to see this. Let me see. See, now I can't see me. So, you saw the other ear. Same process this ear. You just want to get around it really good. That one's pretty gunky. This is normally my gunky ear. For some reason this one bleeds more than the other one does. That's actually not too bad. And then we'll try to do behind the ear. Yeah, that's got some stuff on it. Flip it around and do it again. Oh, there we go. I guess I got most of it on the first pass. Alright, we got good warm hot water. Go ahead and fill up our clean glass. It doesn't have to be an exact measurement, just something you can get plenty to wash your ear with. Make sure it's not too hot. And just kind of rinse it. Get it on there, take it off every once in a while. Make sure there's no soap residue. And rinse it again. And I normally call that good. Make sure you dump your water out for your next rinse. But there you go. Like I said, I just got these pierced 3 days ago. So these are my first professional piercing. And I think I mentioned it, I got them pierced at an 8 gauge. I was originally going to go for a 6, but she didn't have 2 plugs for the 6. So she had 2 plugs for the 8, so we went with the 8. It hurt, I'm not going to lie. But I also didn't want to, I don't like the look of hoops for me personally. So I wanted to start with a stud. To do a good looking stud, in my opinion, I needed to go up to a bigger size quicker. So I went with a bigger gauge piercing, and the way she actually did it, she used a 9 to pierce it, and then she used a 8 taper to stretch it up and then put this plug in. That way the ear would shrink back over the plug and actually seal it so it wouldn't bleed as much. And I've looked, before I did this, I watched a ton of YouTube videos, and a lot of them said when they got pierced at a higher gauge, that's the way they did it, just so it would not bleed continuously for the first couple days. But like I said, on this one, you can barely see a little bit of bruising right there. Because of the hot water, it may have helped break some of that up. I'm hoping this one will, but I don't know if you can see it. On the bottom of this one is some bruising. And she told me that would be normal, just because when she pushed through, she was shaking trying to get the needle through. But I'm not going to keep rambling. This is my first professional piercing, and I'm going to start stretching once these get good and healed and have time to get used to being at this. And then from then on, we'll start making stretching videos. My wife has actually decided she wants to stretch, and she's starting at a normal piercing size and jumped up to a 14. So I may get her in with me, or she may want to do her own videos. I don't know. But we'll take you along in the process. So until next time, tune into my other channel. I don't post very often, but I do post. I just created this channel, Birdicus, nickname in high school, so that I can have 2 separate channels. The other one, I do hunting stuff, things like that. So tune in next time, and hopefully by then we're stretching. Otherwise, if anything major happens before then, I'll post a video about it. So thanks.